Hello, YouTube and Universe. Welcome to Scarstorm Productions. I'm your host, Moro, here to bring you everything new on your favorite brands and more. And today we'll be taking a look at some new reveals for Transformers Age of the Primes. But before we begin, make sure you like, subscribe, and notifications so you don't miss another video like this, because maybe a small click for you guys, but a big help for me and the channel. Thank you. And without further ado, let's begin.
You know, surprisingly, Age of the Primes has actually been a pretty good line so far.
Yeah, I know. Age of the Primes has been doing good, and we finally get the last two primes. Before that, let's talk about the reveal that most people already know about. We got a official product image of of Transformers Prime Universe Smokescreen. And might I say, it looks pretty good. And I've already made a video on my opinions on it, so you guys can check that out. Link in the description. But I honestly, my opinion is still the same. I love how it looks, and I love how you turn the hands into actually making it into the arm cannons. Though, there's one thing I did notice. On his left hand, he actually has the phase shifter on there, which I was not expecting to actually see a part of the sculpt. I was just thinking, oh, we will never get a phase shifter. But I guess we do, and honestly, I'm happy about that. Adding a little bit more of detail to the Prime characters, which they need. And of course, when you put him into vehicle mode, he looks really good. Looks fairly accurate to how he did in the show, and I personally love it. I'm a sports car guy. I just love them, and I love this. I love the checker stripes with the 38 on them, and everything looks clean on it. Though I can't help but wonder what it's going to be retooled in, because we already know it's going to be at least recolored to the Beast Hunter colors. I just wonder what other retools we can get out of this. That's my thing. And all in all, the smokescreen looks really good, and I'll try to get my hands on it because, as I said to a couple people, I'm not really collecting this year. All I'm collecting are Bruticus and the 13 Primes. And speaking of 13 Primes, let's go into the last two we have. Starting off with Voyager Class, we have Voyager Class Nexus Prime. And this thing is just an amalgamation of all his different designs. First off, the body is based off of the TF1 look, which isn't that bad, but it still could be better. For the color scheme, it goes for the Dreamwave version. Well, not Dreamwave, but FunPub. I meant to say Fun Publications. Basically, where Nexus Prime was first introduced. And, okay, I like the color scheme. Though, instead of... yes, it does look like how Heatwave did, because Heatwave was the main body of Nexus Prime in the Fun Publication comics and the toys, but he has the head of the TF1 version. And they do conflict a little bit, but at least it still looks good. And what to say about it? What's said? It looks pretty good. Now, here's the main complaint people have about it. For one, the color scheme. It's an homage to one of the old toys, so don't worry about that. But it doesn't look like it will combine with anything. But that's where most people are wrong, because it actually does have the same combiner ports that Superion, Menasor, and Onslaught have. So it basically has a universal torso. You could put it on any one of those. So that will be interesting to see what kind of combinations we can get. And I'll be looking forward to that. And it looks really good. My personal favorite design of Nexus Prime is the one from the Aligned Continuity, but maybe that's what we'll get when he combines, because he's supposed to have another head, and you can see it better in vehicle mode, but we'll talk about that in a second. And for his robot mode, he has a ton of articulation that I can see, though it doesn't look like he has wrist swivel, which is a little disappointing for a Voyager class figure that's like $40 now. But what can we do if Hasbro doesn't take our complaints? Am I right? And it seems to be his weapons are going to be on his back that also serve as wings. And of course, he comes with his Prime artifact being the Enigma of Combination, which looks pretty nice. I like the little gold part on the inside. And oh no, I think it's okay. He is a generic bot. But when you go into vehicle mode, it's not the best. It's honestly not good at all. It goes for that Cybertronian looking jet where it's just the bot is facing down and all his limbs are on the side, leaving an exposed backside And it kind of reminds me of the original Metal Hawk toy. No, better yet, it reminds me of how IDW Metal Hawk looked, which wasn't not one of my favorite designs when it came to his vehicle mode. But the red and blue go together on it with the black parts. I like it. And I like how the Enigma combination basically becomes the little fins on the nose cone of the jet. It's a really unique design. At least that's what it has. But to me, it's still not the greatest. Now, normally this will be it, but Mark Clonus, go follow him on Instagram. I'll put it in the description. Showed off what his combined mode would look like if you have components. And yeah, I think it's okay. I like the head sculpt on him, though. Really goes off of what he looked like in Transformers Prime. And the Enigma combination turning into the chest plate for it is a really unique design. Though having to use the Mosh Posh of Superion and Onslaught parts for it isn't the best. Hopefully in the future we can actually get some components for him, and based off of what he used in that video, maybe we'll get recolors of those eventually into the Nexus Prime colors. But for now, Nexus Prime is gonna be probably the last Prime I get, because yes, I get the appeal of this. He's supposed to look like a generic bot when he's not combined, but I would rather him be like a commander or something so we can have the full set, if you get what I mean. But hey, that's only the downside. For the next bot we have the Prime of Lies and the one that made Megatronus betray his brethren. We have the Liege Maximo. And this thing just looks perfect. Looks like he just came out of the screen of the comics. Now, a ton of complaints people have about this is the horns aren't connected. And my thing is, who cares? Because the only time we've ever seen him look like this is when he was first introduced in the last comic of the G2, comics. And all he was doing was sitting down. We didn't know if his horns were connected or not. We didn't know if that was just an aesthetic of his design. So, I don't see what the big complaint is. I personally love it, and if you love it, that's good. Don't conform to what other people are saying. This looks good. And as someone who loves the color green, second favorite color, it's just all the different shades blend perfectly together, and all the metallic blue that goes around him as wiring that looks so good. And all in all, I really love it. Now, for his accessories, he comes with his prime artifact of the Legion darts. Which, oh boy, that looks good. And I like them. Each dart looks vastly distinct compared to the other. And maybe that plays into, each dart is supposed to have a different type of poison in it. Which, if so, that's a really interesting idea. And so far, that seems like the only accessory. Though, you can do one other thing with them. That is, you could turn his left hand into an arm cannon. Which plays off of the original panel where we saw him. Where his left hand was just a cannon. Yeah. And honestly, that's pretty cool. And another thing you do is you could take off his backpack and attach it to the throne that came with Starscream. And when you do that, it basically just makes his original throne from the comics, which is really good. And I might have to buy one so I can paint it green to go with Liege Maximo. Which is the only smart thing I can do with that, to actually make it comic accurate. But yeah. Other than that, that's really it for robot mode. When we go to his vehicle mode, he turns into an abomination of a spaceship, which looks really cool. It looks organic, and I love how it looks. And I like all the little spikes on it. I love how the horns for his backpack turn into faux wings, and I like how the horns above his head just stick out kind of like Unicron's maws almost. And of course, the Legion darts can go into the center of his vehicle mode. Though, to me, it kind of reminds me of spaceships docking, if that makes sense. Like docking onto their mothership, which if that's what they did, that's really cool. Because I know they said that the darts are supposed to look like ships if you put them down for vehicle mode, so maybe that's the full intention. But yeah, other than that, the vehicle mode looks nice, and that's really it for these two primes. Now, Now, before anyone says in the comment, yes, I know this technically aren't the last two primes. We have Vector Prime coming in the next wave. But since we already got them in United, that's why I said these are the last two primes, because most people have the Vector Prime that came out in United. And we don't even know if this one that's going to come up is anything new. So, with that, these technically are the last two primes you need to get for your collection to be complete. Now, I hope you all enjoy the video. Let me know, how do you guys feel about these reveals? Do you like them or do you not? And sorry this took a while to get out. I was busy out of state for a bit. Then I got work from school because I'm doing SAT prep as well. So sorry about the wait. And I hope you guys like the video. And if that's everything, that's a wrap. Fade to black.